Hello, this is Samoga in Hawaii, and today we are looking at the Bekah, a legendary Jacobs assault rifle that was a standout favorite in Borderlands 2. Borderlands 3 version, however, which has been with the game since launch, has not been anything special until recently. The performance was never there. It was strictly a quest weapon, and it couldn't come anointed. Now, the anointment issue was fixed, but the basic performance still lacked until the May 13th, 2021 update. Bekah received a 200% damage boost with that update, and now, well, if you follow this channel or watch me on Twitch, you probably know that the Clairvoyance is my favorite BL3 assault rifle. Has been since it first appeared with DLC 2. I absolutely love that gun. And now I have two favorite ARs. Okay, the Bekah is now amazing and a lot of fun to use. It can still only be obtained by completing all of the Hammerlock Hunt missions. Hammerlock mails it to you. But that's not a big obstacle because, one, there are only 12 variants, not counting sights, with not a whole lot of performance difference between them. I will go over the differences for those who want to min-max. And two, I've linked a save file with a couple of them in the description below. Okay. Now, the way the Bekah works is follows. Shortly after the round leaves the barrel, 3 more unlisted projectiles appear behind the first and split, one going straight, one slightly left, and one slightly right. The separation between the unlisted projectiles increases the further downrange they go until they hit something. And each projectile, if it hits, gets the same listed base damage. If we get all 4 to hit, that's 4 times listed base. Crit with all 4, that's 4 times base crit. Now, as a Jacobs, any crit of the main projectile can ricochet to another target. Unlisted projectiles, however, do not get that ricochet when critting. Now, because of the split, we need to engage at short to medium ranges to do max damage by getting all 4 to hit. If we're too far back, only 2 may hit. Okay, that's double listed damage, which is not bad. In a lot of situations, that's still actually plenty damage. But if we can get all 4 to hit, either at shorter ranges or versus larger than average targets at longer ranges, the damage this thing does is formidable. Also, in some crowded mobbing situations at range, the spacing of the projectiles may still all end up hitting, just not the same target. Okay. Be advised, however, there is also a minimum range under which the unlisted projectiles don't spawn. It looks to be about 6 to 8 feet in game distance. Close is good, but not point blank. The gun has a sweet spot that takes getting used to, but once we do, it performs incredibly well. The Bekah also has a bit of a kick, okay, a distinct recoil. We can compensate for it, but it does take practice. Now, like most unlisted projectiles, these don't get Amara's infusion skill elemental damage, but do get force per expression added damage. Basically, any Vault Hunter skill, or anointment, or artifact, or perk that adds elemental damage adds it to the unlisted projectiles. If the main projectile is amped, so are the unlisted ones. Now, I've tested this mainly on Amara so far with a sniper build. Actually, this is Stone Swan's Hidden Tiger, pretty much. There are a number of videos that showcase Flak with 2 Fang and an Infernal Wish Shield getting 12 projectiles per shot with a Bekah. I suspect any Vault Hunter can make good use of it, and I'll eventually get around to playing with this on all 4 Vault Hunters. In the meantime, the bottom line is, most places where the Clairvoyance works well, this works just as well, sometimes more so. The Clairvoyance Cryo helps against many targets, especially armored ones, but hurts versus cryo-resistant or immune enemies. The Bekah is non-elemental with no penalties or buffs versus elemental resistances or flesh or shock, and the smallest penalty versus armor, only 20%. It's a little more forgiving when we don't crit, but does crazy damage when we do. Clairvoyance probably mobs better, probably, but definitely bosses. But Bekah definitely bosses better, especially versus enemies with hard to hit crit spots. Okay. Now, for the min-maxers out there, besides the sights, the only variable parts are the bolt and the foregrip. 3 of the former, 4 of the latter, meaning 12 different variants. These are all the stats of all 12 possible variants, again not including sights, which don't affect these stats. To that I add 4 columns. These rank base damage per second, or DPS, crit damage per shot, crit DPS, and this last one, which averages these two, base DPS and crit DPS. Green is the highest in any column, red is the lowest. So which is the best performer? What do these numbers tell us? Well, not that much, actually. I mean, on the one hand, we can look at this and think if we're good at critting most of the time, favor this variant. Okay, if we suck at critting, favor these, and if we're kind of in between, any of these would work well. Stay away from these at all costs. But that's deceptive. I said at the start that there wasn't a lot of difference in performance between the variants. I took my sniper optimized build and ran the Molly 1 takedown with the Bekah soloing everything except Wotan himself. Okay, I used URAT anointed Bekahs for this. First I ran it with this variant with max crit. Okay, very effective and a lot of fun. Then I ran it with this guy for more of a balance between critting and just spamming body shots. Didn't notice a difference, just as much fun. Then, to get a complete picture, I ran it with this guy down at the bottom. Okay, and I didn't notice a whole lot of difference. It may have taken a few more shots on average, maybe, but it was still highly effective, and I still had fun. And we can't do that with a low-performing Clairvoyance, which has like 8,000 variants. So if you insist on min-maxing, I'll just leave this table up for a few seconds, freeze the video, pick the Bekah that works for you. Personally though, I don't think there is such a thing as a bad Bekah. Okay. Now as for the sights, which I left till now, sights as always are personal preference. There are at least 3 scopes, 1.7 power, 3.3 power, and 4.5 power. I'm not 100% sure iron sights are an option. Okay, I normally prefer a high magnification because I like to snipe, but I find the 4.5 power a bit too much given the sweet spot you have to work with. 3.3 power is still my go-to. But again, personal preference. Maybe you excel at hip fire, you don't care. Okay, and there you have it. Get a Bekah, any Bekah. Get as close as you can, but not too close. Crit as much as you can, and enjoy it, because you will enjoy it. If you like this content, leave me a like, follow. Consider leaving a comment, or check me out on twitchtv.com/SamoGuy in Hawaii. And as always, stay safe and thanks for watching.